Hello guys. This video is for men, although women are welcome, but this is geared more towards men. So a friend of mine informed me that men are being talked to by these toxic feminine women and they're going to universities and they're spreading their hatred, and men are awful and men are responsible for everything wrong in the world, and everything about men are awful and they're predators, and your sex drive makes you a bad person, and just being masculine is something that we can't tolerate, and don't even think about approaching us because you're predators, and if you even think about coming near us, we're calling the cops. So it has men nervous and afraid, and I guess I'll be single the rest of my life because I'm convinced that I am a horrible person. So let me tell you what's really going on with that. I wasn't aware that that was going on to that extent. This is called, there's a term for it, and it's called gaslighting. Gaslighting is when someone is manipulating you and trying to teach you that up is up and down is down, and if you hear something often enough, you start to believe it, even though your logical brain knows that that isn't true. If you hear something often enough, you start to question your own reality. When a person is doing this to you and slamming you with these untruths, this is called gaslighting. So I want you guys to research the term gaslighting. I believe that because these women they're like the toxic form of feminism, because feminism was originally supposed to be equal rights in the workplace and all these happy positive things, but then it turned into this dark, toxic, dysfunctional mentality. I don't know when the twist came and the shift came, but it's an awful thing. And gaslighting is when someone is manipulating you. They're telling you that your reality is not real. I'm going to tell you what you actually know about yourself. I'm going to tell you, and you're going to hear it often enough. I'm going to beat you in the head with it to the point where you question everything about yourself. And when I'm finished with you, if I'm a manipulator, when I'm finished with you, you're going to question everything that you ever knew about yourself, and you're going to distrust everything about you. You're going to distrust your judgment. You're going to distrust everything that you've always known to be right. It's a way to screw someone in their brain. That's what it is. It's a mind screw. It's called gaslighting. The women who I believe are doing this are severely toxic. They may have been violated by men. They may have been molested when they were a little younger. They may have been raped. Um, I was part of a support group for women who were violated to some extent sexually. And this is such a common thing that happens with women. It's not talked about, it's not discussed, but it is a common thing that happens in families. You might be stunned at how commonplace that actually is. Okay. So I believe that they're wounded. All of these women that are spreading this poison, that they are wounded to some degree or another, because why else would you get off on spreading poison? Why else would you try to convince guys that you're all horrible? You just don't realize how horrible you are. Let me tell you how horrible you actually are. That is not coming from a normal intellectual space. That is coming from toxicity and dysfunction and psychological poison. It's like if you have a truck that's carrying hazmat material and it spills on the road, that is an environmental emergency type of deal. This is the similar type of thing, but it's oh, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. I don't know if that, okay, sorry about that. Um, it's the psychological um, equivalent of a chemical spill. It's psychological damage, it's poison, and like I said, there's actually a term for it. I don't remember what the term is, but there is a term for when you hear something often enough, you start to believe it. If you hear that you're a predator enough, you start to believe it. You start to question yourself. Well, I wasn't raised like that. I've never acted that way. I don't have any victims in my wake. So, but I keep hearing that. So maybe it's true. It is a form of gaslighting. I'm giving you homework. I want you to research the term gaslighting. This video is not for toxic men, okay? If you are a narcissist or any other kind of cluster B psychiatric issue, this video is not for you, because chances are everything that those women have said is true, because there's something wrong with you. This is for normal men who are questioning their ability to be gentlemen. They're questioning their own reality. They're questioning, maybe I've can't approach women because they've told me that if you come anywhere near me, I'm calling the cops because all of y'all are nothing but poison. That is coming from a place of poison. The original message is coming from a place of poison. No one who is normal, happy with their life, they have loved ones, they have friends, they're mentally sound. No one who's mentally sound spreads poison like that and tries to destroy an entire generation of a certain gender. Nobody does that unless something is severely wrong with them. So you have to consider the source. And you also have to consider common sense. I could be told every single day, 10 times a day, that I'm a bank robber. I know that I'm not a bank robber. But again, if you hear something often enough, you put your mind in a question mark phase, like, maybe, just maybe. No, there's no maybe to it. You have to consider the source. These are sources of pain where these misinformation is coming, where this misinformation is coming from. It's a source of agony. It's a source of pain. It's a source of abuse. It is narcissism. It is manipulation. It is psychologically damaging. This is the reason why I have told people you have to think for yourself. You cannot let somebody rob your identity. You cannot allow someone to tell you 5,000 times a day, you're a horrible person, you're a horrible person. And these are all the reasons why. I don't give a shit how many reasons somebody gives me. I'm going to tell them to go dive into a shark's mouth, get out of my face. You got 2 seconds to get out of my face, or else I'm going to go to jail for hitting you in the mouth. So I'm not a violent person, but I'm not going to allow my brain to be screwed, okay? You have to have your own identity, and you cannot allow someone, especially someone who's toxic, to steal your identity and to put you in the space of a predator when you know deep in your heart you're not a predator. So instead of avoiding all women, you need to gravitate towards healthier women. Women who have something going on with their life. Women who they have hobbies other than destroying people, okay? They have solid foundation with their families, solid foundation with their friends. They have hobbies, they have goals, they have ambition. Because let me tell you something. Somebody who's got goals and they have ambition for their life and they're focused on the prize, they don't have time, okay? They don't have time to plot the demise of someone else, whether it's a group of people, a whole bunch of people, one gender. They don't have time for that shit. They're focused on themselves, getting stronger, getting happier, doing self-evaluation every day. I did that messed up thing. I said that thing to Susie, and that was wrong, and I probably should apologize to her because I don't know if she took that wrong. That's called self-evaluation. That's what we all do. That doesn't make you a bad person. That makes you human. So if you're approaching someone and they act like a damn fool and they're like, don't ask me to coffee, you are a predator because you have testosterone running through your veins, you need to run for the hills and enter the witness protection program so this psychotic bitch doesn't ever find you again. This isn't normal behavior. This is a type of mind screw, mind bend, I'm going to tell you as often as I can how horrible you are. And if you looked in the mirror, you would know how horrible you are if you could only face yourself. That is toxic. Nobody who is going to school to be, I don't know, an accountant, lawyer, doctor, executive secretary, whatever. No one who is in school, college, trying to get a promotion on the job, trying to be a good parent, whatever they are doing with their personal life, if they are making, they're focused on the goal, what they want their life to look like in the future. They don't have time to chew you up and spit you out and tell you how terrible you are. You have to consider the poisonous source. You have to consider the poisonous source. I'm going to tell you a little story, and this may be familiar to you. I don't know. But I don't know if it was a lady or man, but for the sake of the story, I'm going to say lady. Okay, so a lady took in this snake. The snake was sick. He was injured. She took him in. She fed him. She nursed him back to health. She gave him medication. She got him stronger and stronger. And it could be a female snake. I'm just saying him, okay? Uh, you know, fed him, gave him nutrients, and got him strong and healthy, and going to release him back into the wild and make sure he had a strong, a very solid diet, and got all the nutrients to have his body and strong and powerful again. And then one day the snake bit her, and she said, "I can't believe you did that after everything I've done for you. I nursed you back to health. I did everything for you." And the snake said, "Right, but I'm a snake. What did you expect?" So I'm paraphrasing. I'm sure there's many different versions of that story. But the bottom line is, if you take in a snake under your wing and the snake bites you, that's par for the course. Okay? If you know, when you do your own personal inventory, you know that you're not a predator, you're not a rapist, you didn't molest any damn body. I don't care how many broads tell you that. Yes, they're broads. I don't care how many times they told you that you did it and you're a horrible person and you're ruining the world. That ain't got nothing to do with you. It doesn't matter how many times you hear it. I want you to research narcissism, and I want you to research gaslighting. Because healthy people don't spread poison. They don't. They freaking don't. And I got news for you. I was almost raped, and I don't run around and do that. All men are potential rapists. That isn't normal. That's not freaking normal. That is coming from a sick, twisted place. Okay? That's sick. Nobody normal does that. Nobody normal tries to destroy other people. So instead of considering being afraid of women, you need to be afraid of psychotic women and lean towards healthier women. And when you're with this person and you feel that something is off, you don't know what it is. She's beautiful, she has a great smile, but something is not, the dots are not connecting. Something in your heart says, I think there's more to this story and I don't know what it is, but I don't feel comfortable. So thank you for coffee. I'm glad to have coffee with you, but I'm going to go ahead and go and have yourself a good evening, and you get the freaking hell out of there. Okay? I met someone who, he was a eye doctor for a store, and I had a t-shirt on, and he knew that he was familiar with the college that the t-shirt was, and so I'm standing in line, he's standing in line, he starts talking to me about the school that's on my shirt. And he said, "Oh yeah, I went to that school, I went to that college, and this and that and the other." And he goes on and on and on. Here's the problem. He didn't say one positive thing while we were standing there. Everything I said, he countered with something negative. So you know what that means? That means I have to get the hell away from him. The person's revealing who they are right out the gate. Because I was almost violated, am I going to jump on the page of, well, this guy's trying to rape me? He's going to rape me because that's what men do. No, that's coming from a wounded, damaged, psychologically off place. That's a wounded place, and it's unrealistic. It is completely unrealistic. There are men that are single men who have raised their children by themselves, all of which may be girls, and never one time did he ever touch them. That is off to think that a certain gender is just everybody gets painted with the same brush. That is mentally off. Don't you dare, as long as you have breath in your body, don't you dare question yourself and second guess yourself and automatically assume that you are a potential predator because a bunch of bitches told you so. Absolutely not. We are not accepting that. That is a form of gaslighting. It is a form of mental mind screw. It is manipulation. It is manipulation. Don't allow yourself to be manipulated by toxic, poisonous people. Nobody happy and positive has nothing but negative, dirty, bad things to say about every situation possible. You know, some people have the mentality that, well, it's a sunny day today, but there's no point in enjoying it because it's going to rain eventually. Really? What does that have to do with what's going on right now? Nothing. I don't want you to be mind bent, mind twisted. I don't want propaganda. Do not follow social media. Do not follow propaganda. I want you to find healthy sources online. If you want to be on social media, you need to find healthy sources that are going to teach you positivity. It's going to teach you positivity. If you hang around poisonous people, you're bound to be, you're going to end up eating the poison. If you're surrounded by poison, it's going to affect you in some way, shape, or form. So the way to deal with that is to get the hell away from it. You don't need to get away from all women because that's stupid. That's asinine. But you do need to get away from toxic women who mean you harm. But they tell you that you mean them harm. That is narcissistic mentality. Honey, I know all about narcissists. I grew up with 2 of them. Both parents are narcissistic. If anybody knows about narcissism, it's me. This child right here. Okay? So, you know, you get told you're never going to amount to anything. That's a load of bullshit too. So many people have careers and they completed school and they've got a lot of great things going for them. But hear a toxic person say it, you're never going to amount to anything. You're just like your father. I was told that I don't know how many times. Come on. And I don't believe that for 2 seconds. I am nothing like him, thank God. And just because I was told it, I'm very hot. Just because I was told that often does not make it true. Am I sweating like a horse? Probably. So I want you guys to do research. I'm giving you homework. Oh my God, I have a fan on and I'm still dying. I want you to do research on narcissism. I want you to do research on toxic femininity. I want you to do research on gaslighting. It's one word, gaslight. Okay. People who are unhappy with themselves spread that darkness to everyone they know, everyone they don't know, because they're miserable with their own lives. Okay? There's people that you may follow online who are, oh my God, I'm warm. People that you may follow online who are very happy and very positive, and they're motivational speakers, or they teach about relationships. You know, if you're nervous about meeting someone, this is how you go about it. And they make a lot of sense, and they don't fill your ear with darkness and negativity and tell you how awful you are and no woman's going to want you. I mean, look at you, you're still single, and look how old you are and you're still single. That's the devil talking to you. And the devil is a professional liar. We're going to have church up in here, not church, but church. The devil's a liar. That's what he does for a living. He's a liar. Okay. So the devil has always been miserable, and he's going to teach you that, you know, Bob, there's no point in you looking out for that woman right there because you're a man, so you're automatically a predator. So don't waste your time, and you're going to get embarrassed and you're going to get rejected. Don't even waste your time talking to her. You're going to make yourself look like a fool. Anybody who says that to you, you need to run from them in the opposite direction as fast as your legs can carry you. You have to consider the source. And what that means is look at the type of individual that is spreading that type of toxic message to you. And I'm going to tell you this. If you have been fed, psychological poison, I want you to look into therapy. We're going to get raw up in here. If you have a really good job and your job has really good insurance, they may cover therapy. I want you to look into it. Call the number that is, inquiries about your insurance. See if they'll cover that. Okay? It's confidential. They're not going to report back to your company because that's between you and them. I want you to join support groups. I want you to find positive people online. Positive women in particular, because your experiences with women have been bad and they have been abusive to you. Let's just keep it real. They've been abusive and they're spreading nasty, hateful messages to you. Don't allow yourself to get mind bent by them. Let them stay in their nasty little evil world where everybody's just a monster they're hiding in the bushes waiting to jump on you. All men are horrible. And that's a bunch of bullshit. Like I told you, and I'm being raw with you. I was almost raped twice. Do I think all men are rapists? I do not. I'm just going to be raw and vulnerable with you. I don't think all men are like that. Only predators. Okay? It's just, you have to consider the source. To me, it's like you did something. Let's say, I'll use myself as an example. I'm just going to pull something out of the air. Oh, shit. All right, let me do it like this, okay? It's like you did something wrong and it's minor, and Charles Manson or Son of Sam, who was a prolific killer, by the way. Son of Sam, you did something minor that was wrong, and Son of Sam, who was a murderer, says, you know what, Bob? You've got problems. You've got some serious problems. Mind you, he's got dead bodies under his house. Do you understand what I'm saying? Do you see what I'm saying? How it doesn't make any sense. You have to consider the source. This is coming from a killer, okay? Multiple homicides over a period of, I don't remember how many years. He has no right to point fingers at anyone at any time. You did that minor little thing, and I don't know, to me, it seems like you're just a bad person with no soul. Yeah, and you're a killer. Get out my face. So consider the source of where the message is coming from. Wounded, angry, bitter, hostile women who have psychiatric issues that need to be addressed. No one happy does that. No one who is happy with their heart, they're inside their heart, inside their soul, inside their mind, inside their body. Nobody who has peace in their soul spreads poison like that. No one. Only sick people do that. Do you understand what I'm telling you? Only sick people have done that. Consider the source. So I'm going to end with this. Men, I admire your tenacity, your determination. I've said this before, some of the jobs that y'all do are straight up horrible, and you do them every single day so that you can make that money and take care of people that are important to you. That doesn't make you a predator, it makes you a smart man. Okay? A bold, strong man. You're not going to say, oh, that job, I'm going to get filthy. I can't do that. My shirt's going to get yucky. I can't do it. Real men are like, it's a gross job, but I got to make money. Let's do it. Let's roll up our sleeves and get it done. We admire that about you. We admire your physical strength. We admire those of you that were raised right and maybe weren't raised right, but you learned the correct way of doing things. A woman is, chilly, you give her your jacket, or, you walk down the road with her, you walk on the outside to keep her safe. You put her on the inside, you walk on the outside. You open a door for a woman. These are things that are very good things to have, and it shows that you have integrity and you have honor. I was told my whole life, you're never going to amount to anything. That's a load of bullshit. You know why? I'll tell you why. So I know what it's like to be gaslit, okay? Lied to, tricked, bamboozled, hoodwinked, the whole bit. You're never going to amount to anything. You're just like your father. Okay? I never did good in school. I'm just going to keep it real with you. We're going to get raw. It's just me and you, baby. I wasn't one of those people in school that I never studied and I passed the test anyway with flying colors. I wasn't one of those. Okay? I studied my ass off and I practiced all the time. I even got I had like anxiety when I took tests. I had anxiety. So I was thinking when I went to school for EMT, which is emergency medical technician. You guys know that. I think most people know that. I went to school for that, and I was afraid that even when I knew the material, that I wasn't going to pass the test because I'm not a great test taker. So you know what I did? I practiced with my friends all the time. I did so many blood pressure checks on them. Their arms are probably damaged to this day. I'm kidding, but I'm just saying. The person, one of them was a very steady study partner, and I strapped him to the spine board a million times. I've had a lot of support going through school, and I studied my behind off because I had to. And I even picked up a book that teaches you how to take tests. And follow your gut instinct. The first answer that you're thinking of is, chances are that's the right answer. Don't second guess yourself. Don't read too much into the question. When you're testing, these are the types of foods that you should eat. Believe it or not, you need to eat a specific diet when you're testing so that you could feed your brain. And I'm going to tell you what a nurse told me. She obviously reached the finish line. I was going to school to be an EMT. She was a nurse, an RN. And I said, I'm going to take my, test for EMT, and I'm scared to death and I don't test well. And do you have any advice for me? And back in the day. And she said, yeah, I want you to remember to breathe. And I'm like, what? I want you to breathe. She said, when you're under stress, you don't realize it, but you're holding your breath. When you're holding your breath, you're depriving your brain of oxygen. When you deprive your brain of oxygen, it can't function. So basic information, it doesn't want to give you because you're not feeding it correctly. Make sure that when you're testing, you breathe. I remembered that. It went in my brain. It made a home there. I passed my state exam, my physical exam, because there's two parts. You're testing for the state. So you test for a physical exam, which is called clinicals. You do your clinical exam, and which proves that you can do certain things on patients, fake patients, obviously. And that's one part of the test. And then the other part of the test is the written part of the test. And they're not scheduled in the same space. And you don't know which one you're going to do first. And you just got to study your ass off. And that's it. You just got to apply yourself. I worked hard. All that hard work paid off. And I got my EMT license from the state. Not because I'm so cute, but because I busted my ass. Okay? Not only did I get a state licensure, but I'm the wrong color. Missouri is racist as hell. Missouri is racist as hell. So tan don't work around here. Okay? But I still managed to succeed. I busted my ass and I made it to the finish line. I became disabled, and that's another story. But there goes that big, huge lie. You're never going to amount to anything. You're a big, fat loser. You're just like your father. A loser. I was told that literally my entire life. But I had a card that was about, let's see, about that big and about that tall. That was the license from the state that I worked for that said that everything I was told growing up is a big, fat, massive, gigantic lie. So just because something was pounded into your head your whole life, or a good deal of your adult life, or whatever the case is, it can be pounded into your head all day and twice on Sunday. That does not make it true. You understand what I'm telling you? That does not make it true. If you see a little honey, you go approach her. Be respectful. Be respectful. Don't eye her up and down like she's butt ass naked. Oh, damn girl. That's not cute. Okay? Be a gentleman. Smile. Be warm. Be polite. I was told I'll never amount to anything. That's a bunch of bullshit. I was trying to help people save their life, trying to help save lives. I also had helped to deliver babies. And I didn't have any training in that particular aspect to that extent, but I learned when I worked at a hospital. I learned while I was there, like on the job training. And before you know it, I was a labor coach, helping patients breathe when they were in labor and staying with them from the start of their delivery to when the baby came out. So, and to this day, women still remembered me. Well, back where I used to live, women still remembered me. I didn't remember them because we delivered helped deliver a lot of babies. So they're like, "Yeah, I remember you. You were there when my first child was born." And I'm like, "Was I you know, I was told my whole life that you ain't nothing. You're never going to amount to anything. You're a big fat zero." And that is a lie, a lie, a lie, and a bigger lie. And don't you dare fall for what someone poisonous tells you. Get some therapy if you feel psychologically broken. There's nothing wrong with that. I've been to therapy multiple times because I had to find a therapist who actually was normal in the head. You'd be surprised how many of them are not. Okay? You do what you got to do. There's nothing to be ashamed about. There's nothing to be embarrassed about. Let me tell you something else, and I'm going to let you go. The world is a very small place as you get older. 40s and up is a lonely, lonely place. The world is a lonely place. You know why? Because if you stay in safe relationships, I'm going to stay close to my mom. I'm going to stay close to my dad, both of my parents, because that's the only family I've ever known. I'm never going to get a woman. I've been told that I'm a piece of crap. I'm never going to get anybody. No one would ever love me. First of all, that's a bunch of bullshit. I'm an example. I'm a walking example of someone who verbally beat me down and told me I was a big fat zero. And it was all lies. But if you cling to people who are safe, they eventually die. Your mom dies, your dad dies. Who are you going to hold on to next? As you get older, the world gets smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller because people start to die. So if you don't have a partner in your life because of what some dizzy bitches told you, you ain't never going to amount to anything. Women don't want nothing to do with you. All men are toxic, bitch. Go get some therapy and get out my face. That's what you tell them. Don't allow yourself to be poisoned. Find positive people to follow. But anyway, the world gets smaller and smaller and smaller. And before you know it, everyone around you, all your loved ones are gone. Who are you going to have by your side? Who are you going to have by your side? Okay? And love, contrary to popular belief, I know people just want to bang on the first meeting and then don't talk to me unless you're hot in the drawers or I'm hot in the drawers, I'll call you. That's what people do now. That's not going to equate to happiness, a true connection, real love. You don't want to die by yourself, do you? And if you get a positive, happy person who's supportive of you, and says, I don't care what your family told you or what a bunch of broads told you or what Tom, Dick, and Harry told you, we're going to get through this together. I got your back, baby. Hold my hand. We're going to do this together. Don't you want that? I'm just asking. Go to therapy if you need it. There's nothing to be embarrassed about, nothing to be ashamed about. Okay? Get stronger. Get healthier up here. Avoid toxic people that are trying to shut you down. I'm going to tell you something else from a different angle. Did you ever think that some people who slam you, did you ever think that they're jealous of you? You ever think of that? There's something about you that they've never had. And it makes them angry and it makes them jealous, especially with narcissists and other manipulators. They hate that you have joy. They hate that you have strength. They hate that you're successful in your job. They hate that no matter what life throws at you, you bounce back. You ever think of that? Maybe it's the total opposite. You're not a bad person. You're a good person, and they want to bring you down to their slimy level. Think of it that way, because that happens a lot. It's happened to me a lot in my life, and I'm still kicking. Regardless of slime balls trying to pull me down to their slimy level, I'm not doing it, period. End of story, I'm not doing it. Okay? If you need someone to talk to, I'm here. Like I said, I'm a walking example of, you're a big loser. Oh, really? If my videos help one person, I think that's a good thing. And maybe that one person can help with someone else, who can help someone else, who can help someone else. Okay? I care about you. You're special. And don't let anybody tell you any different. And if they do, get away from them and surround yourself with more positive people who are going to uplift you instead of bring you down. Much love. Take care.